Good afternoon from Shoto Farms. Um, Wanted to give a quick garden update now that it's August. We were actually gone here in Seattle for the last 10 days. So I figured it'd be an interesting video to capture how the garden did, and the garden did pretty well. There's not really any surprises. There's a couple things that didn't do so well because we're in the height of drought season here. It seems that the rain has generally stopped, even though a thunderstorm is currently brewing. It seems like we didn't get much rain when we were gone. The hose timers were on, so everything did get some water, but it's just too hot for some things, and I'll show that to you. But really what I wanted to talk about just now is a potential pivot for the channel. While we were up in Seattle, we were visiting some friends who moved there a year and some months ago and got some acreage on Vashon Island. And I took a lot of video while we were there, with helping with some land clearance, some path building, all kinds of stuff in the woods, and different land management things that they're doing with their land. And I think that's where I want to take this channel. There's a lot more to show in the garden here, obviously, but I want to also show what other people are doing with their gardens and farms, and just generally getting back to land and learning from the land. So be on the lookout for that in the next few weeks. I'm not sure how long it will take me to put that video together. As I said, there's quite a bit of it, or it might be a series of a few videos, but I think that's the direction I want to go. I would love to hear your thoughts on that. If you would like to leave a comment, that would be great. Let me know what you're interested in seeing more of on this channel. So let's try to get a garden tour in before the rain starts. So the hibiscus is maybe finished blooming. There's one there that hasn't opened up, but it doesn't look like there's too many other buds that haven't opened up. Though I might try to harvest some of these calyxes, which is the part of the flower that is left behind, and also the part that hibiscus tea is made out of, I believe. This isn't exactly the right variety for that, but it might work in any case. There's a couple sunflowers that haven't been totally decimated by the squirrels and the birds, but most of them have been picked clean, as that guy has. So some of these I might actually cut the heads off pretty soon. The greens are surviving pretty well, as is all this basil down here, despite not being cut back for a few days. The okra is now chest high, and there's a few pods that got a little long while we were gone, but those will just fall to the ground and be composted. Over here, this row of peppers seems to have died off, at least above ground. I need to dig and see if the potatoes are still... Did I say peppers? I meant potatoes. Potatoes underground, which I believe there will be. In other potato news, the sweet potatoes are very happy. They have filled out the garlic beds completely at this point and are now coming onto the pathways, so I'll have to trim those back a little bit. The peppers are doing great, which is expected, and starting to ripen. Tomatoes, after our last video, have taken a severe turn for the worse. Not exactly sure what happened, but they are not looking happy, especially these, which were the ones, the black icicles that had so many tomatoes on them before we left. This is the issue with the tomatoes. Looks like they have severe spider mite infestation. That's just killing all of the leaves. I noticed a little bit of it before we left for our trip, and then being gone for 10 days, I don't think there's any hope without using some kind of chemical that I'm not really interested in using. So we'll just have to call this year's tomato crop a failure. We'll see what the new growth does, but I'm not gonna hold my breath. On a happier note, the peppers are loaded. This one, these guys especially, this is the Brazilian starfish. First year I've been growing this, and they're as tall as me and literally loaded with peppers. There are hundreds of these on this plant. On these I believe 2 plants. And it's really a similar story with all of them. This is lemon drop, I believe, and all over the place. These are just now flowering. I'm not sure which one that is. And then the sweet pepper side is also doing well. They're starting to ripen even. Tomatillo is still very large. Just lots and lots of fruit on these. This is a sweet variety called Corbaci that I'm very excited about. Lots of ripe lipstick pepper, I think. Again, lots of ripe ones. And then the cayennes are turning red as well, so there will be hot sauce making coming soon. I'm very excited about the sweet potatoes being this happy. This is a Thai chili plant that I did not plant, so I am always okay with bonus Thai chilies. And then shiso, that is getting quite large. Moving back to the fence side of things, you can see that the vines have climbed about half the fence at this point. That's pumpkin, and then cucumbers all up in there. Straw flowers, yellow, and now the pink ones have started, which are very pretty. I've been harvesting some of those. They stay dry. They're naturally dry, so they just preserve themselves. You can harvest them and they'll last and keep their color. The lemongrass is finally doing its thing, filling in nicely, so we can start harvesting that probably. We actually have a couple cucumbers that have yellowed, which I think means the plants were stressed, and I also saw a cucumber beetle, so I'm going to have to go through very carefully and see if we can save these before they get wiped out. But there are a couple green cucumbers on the back side as well. The beans I'm very excited about have started climbing the bamboo that I installed in place of the corn. That didn't work out. And I see some beans forming as well. So that's exciting. The vertical element of the garden was preserved. Gonna have to try to rejuvenate our mint box because it is not in the ground and not irrigated, and therefore dried out completely while we were gone, which spelled bad news for the mint, but I bet it'll come back if I prune it back and water it heavily. So I'm going to try that. In the back of the garden there's ginger that's getting really tall, watermelon underneath, and there is a couple watermelon fruit back there. And then throughout the middle, quite a few more peppers. The bean flowers are really pretty too. Coming back here, here's that little sugar baby watermelon forming, and it looks like it's got a couple others right next to it. And hopefully some more. I planted quite a bit, but they don't get much sun back here, so we'll see how productive they end up being. These potatoes are doing better. They still have quite a bit of green growth on the above the soil, but I'm guessing the potato season is over and I probably should just harvest those. Well, thanks for watching. That's all I got for today. Just wanted to give an update. Overall, I'm really pleased. The garden did really well despite us not being around for 10 days. And I would probably attribute that mostly to heavy mulching and also, plant selection. So thanks for watching, and see you next time.